Hi, I'm making this video again. This is the part 2 to my last video, in which I addressed Bailey on stealing money from drag stars, which he has done. I've known Bailey for a little bit over 10 years now, and ever since I met him, he's always had a get rich scheme or some kind of scheme that he's gonna do to try and get some internet attention. I've met him in person. I live in the same state as he does, actually, and everything that he has had to say about him and Khia is completely false and just made up so that he can try and come up off of this T.S. Madison and Khia drama that's going on right now, which I'm not going to speak about because I don't know anything about. Bailey has... So him and Khia first started becoming friends on MySpace. She had one of those phone lines that you could call and leave a voicemail, and he would call her nonstop every day, leaving her, you know, a grip ton of voicemails, trying to be as funny as he could so that he'd get her attention. And eventually it worked. She started liking and commenting on all of his stuff. She started calling him back, chatting with him, things like that. So from that point, it escalated from him being a fan, wanting attention, to them being friends. And what ended up happening is he told her that he would read her emails, manage her MySpace and all that other stuff, and she agreed to it. There was never any agreement about him being her assistant or being a manager or anything in that capacity. And there was never any agreement of him getting paid for what he does. Because all he really was doing was just spreading her stuff on MySpace and her other social media accounts, letting her know what's going on, if somebody did want to book her, or things like that. He was very hands-off when it came to stuff like that. He'd be her hype man. He'd talk shit to people who were hating on her, trying to ruin their life, things like that. He's never officially booked or managed for her, and I don't think she would ever allow him to, because he doesn't have the skill, he doesn't network, he doesn't have the connections. Ever since I've known Bailey, he's gotten fired from about 3 or 4 different jobs for things like taking money out of the register, taking his coworkers' tips, and other things like that. The whole NFL scandal is a complete lie. It never happened. Khia had a crush on the football player, and so she flew out here to watch them train at the Broncos Stadium, and that was that. She never talked to him. He didn't disrespect his family in the regard that Bailey's trying to make it look out to be. She just had a genuine crush on him, and she wouldn't do that to somebody who was married and had kids, you know. She never stole money from him. She doesn't owe him money. What ended up happening, and this is why they fell out, was she had a show booked for her in Vegas, and this was when Bailey was living out in Seattle. And I know a couple of the people in the area that are sources for everything. Khia is included with the sources that I say, that corroborated the story that he flew out there on his own accord. He bought his plane ticket. He booked a hotel room. I don't know if he booked one for her, but he's done so in the past, and she's always reimbursed him. But he did all this stuff, bought her presents, etc., and flew out there. And after the show, the guy that booked her wanted to pay her through PayPal. And she's never had credit cards or debit cards. She's always been cash, never really anything else. So sketched her out, and she talked to Bailey about it. And he went to the guy, got the money from her, or from him. And before he gave the money to Khia, he took what he considered his cut out and gave her the rest of the money and took off. He got his own hotel room. He hid out for the weekend, and pretty soon after that, he was back in Colorado. She was really upset, obviously, because they didn't sit down and talk about like how much he was going to take, you know, etc. He just kind of took what he thought was his and took off on her. And I think that's shady in general. Like, they were extremely good friends, you know. She trusted him with everything, and he just screwed her over like this. It's not good. I don't have a Twitter right now, but my Instagram is bdoesthat. But as soon as I set up my Twitter, I will link it below. Thanks. Bye.